sisters and hey, brothers. We want to welcome you all to our podcast at ImPowered Woman. You know, we're so super excited tonight, y'all. I mean, we have been, the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50 plus and somethings. We've been talking about this thing called friends and just really having some cool dialogue with each other. And so now we want to have a cool dialogue with y'all about friends. I mean, and I'm going to tell you something. For me, I had to do some serious reflection on this thing. I mean, woo! I was like, okay, all right. We're going to be talking about something that's real serious here. Okay, now, what everybody thinks, the minister lady, she got, oh, yeah, her and friends. Oh, come on now. Listen, we're going to talk real talk tonight. We want y'all's questions. You're going to hear from the minister folks too. Yeah. Okay, Christian folks, all that, because listen, we all have to show ourselves friendly first, right? Before we can have friends, okay? And I only got a handful of friends. Just a handful. So we want y'all to kind of chime in with us. We want you to send some chat in the chat box. We're going to be real with y'all, real conversation, real advice. It doesn't mean you have to do what we say, but we just telling you how we kind of do things with this old friend thing. And we're going to talk about Facebook friends. I'm sure that's going to come up. We're going to talk about past relationships, future friend relationships, all that. Okay. Let's say friendtimacy. Is there such a thing? There is today. Friendtimacy. We're going to talk about that too. Okay. But listen, I'm going to ask y'all to please share because we want as many of our sister girls to get excited about this conversation, to chime in. I said chime in. Yeah, chime in, all that. And just put some comments in and some questions, your feedback, your thoughts, because guess what? As an empowered woman, we want you to be able to be united, support one another, get better at this thing. Because when I was checking myself, I was like, wait a minute. When I was a kid, nobody gave me a book on what was a real friend. I was just kind of stuck with the people at school and then stuck with the people at church, stuck with the people in my neighborhood that you got to get home before the lights come on, street lights. You know how it is. But anyway, so we're going to talk about this thing because we got to get better and not bitter. Hey, you know what? I think we got a video to show y'all. Here we go. Hey, y'all. What's up?
I love that.
I got so excited I broke a sweat, y'all. What's up?
I love that opening. I'm not gonna lie.
That was a cool opening, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The good, bad, and the ugly.
It's about to get deep. It's about to get deep.
About to get deep. You're right.
It's about to get deep. It's about to get deep, but that's a good thing.
You know what? Can I start? Can I?
Yes.
Me.
Take it away.
Can I for real? Okay, cool. Look, I'm asking for some permission right here. Look, listen, I was talking to Minister Kaylee about this the other day, and I had to start with one of these stories that's in my book. So if you haven't gotten the book yet, you got to get it. It's about a 2.5 hour read, okay? Because all my business is in there, but it's really a testimony, okay? And a message, okay? But since we're talking about friends, there was a story in here I had to tell y'all about. Can I read it? Can I take about 2 minutes?
Yeah, come on.
You said, come on with it. You said, hurry up. Okay. For real. I got to put my glasses on first. All right. So now, for real. Now, this was a friend that I had. I mean, real talk. Okay. Had. Past tense. Had. H-A-D.
Had.
I want you to hear me clearly. Okay. It said, my best friend. I said best. I only have a handful that I had for 10 years. Okay. Betrayed me. I believe that seed of betrayal was planted at the Kingdom Women's Conference. We got one coming up in January, but this was the one we had back in 2019, y'all. Before the conference, she was real supportive, y'all. She gave me $300, and she gave me that $300 because she wanted to have a vendor booth, okay, which I think was like $200 at the time, and she wanted to pay for 2 tickets for her and her husband, okay? Now, she found out I was inviting a revolutionary, okay, Black leader. Okay. And he was also, he was a revolutionary Black leader. She got very nervous. Now, I didn't tell you, but she was white. Now, listen, I'm pro-Black all day, but I'm not anti-white. Let me be clear there. Okay. Did you hear that?
That's right.
Pro-Black. I'm not anti-white. So please make a note of that. All right. She was my friend, white chick, super cool, non-melanated chick, 10 years. She was even in my wedding. Okay. Now, in my wedding. Okay. That's real. That's real talk. Now, she paid the $300, y'all. She got the vendor booth, 2 tickets for her and her husband. But once she found out I was inviting this revolutionary leader, Black leader, she got real nervous. She said he has stated flat out that he doesn't like non-melanated people. He had stated that. I didn't think she would be so intimidated by him. I really didn't. I mean, we as Black people go places and do things all the time, right? And, we know we might have some different encounters with non-melanated people who don't like us. So when the shoe was on the other foot, and this is in my book, I think she got a chance to experience what we go through on a regular basis. So I was like, you know what, chick, it's okay. You know what? It builds character. You're good. He's who he is, and we are who we are, right? So I stated to her I liked him because I at least knew where he was coming from. He was real. He was in your face, but he was respectful to non-melanated people. In that Kingdom Women's Conference, he really was. But I think deep down, she was one of those people who acted like race didn't matter, but it really did. And I didn't see it for 10 whole years. I was drinking some Kool-Aid. I remember her jokingly calling me the N-word. Yes, I'm telling you, we talking about friends. I'm finna throw it all out there. She called me the N-word, and my little naive self at the time, I let it slide. Okay, now I was feeling some kind of way, but I was like, don't do that crap no more. But I think she was saying it so to see if she could get away with it. I don't really know. Okay, but subconsciously, I might have been following that whole thing that we say keep your friends closer and your enemies a little bit closer. You know what I'm saying? So, but her husband ended up not attending the event because of the revolutionary Black leader. Didn't come. Now, when she saw the turnout, and I'm coming to a close, she saw the turnout and the impact of this conference was having, and she pulled me aside and said, you know what, you ain't gonna be in corporate America much longer. This is really big, Denise. I didn't realize you could speak that good. Ooh, I didn't realize you had all these connections. Ooh, I'm like, what are you talking about? I still gotta have my day job. This is where God is taking me. But I think she knew where God's taking you, I can't go. So she had to bring me down a notch. Do you know, I'm not even gonna finish this. That chick, what she did.
Here you go, y'all.
Here it is. I put my hand on my hips.
God.
That I thought was my friend. I'm starting to break a sweat. I thought was my friend. And I still love her. What she did was she lied on me at my job and said that I forced her to give me $300 for something. I ended up getting fired from my job. Mind you, she was going to take me down a notch because I was getting too high and I'm about to leave the company. The company I was giving her leads all the time. I thought she was my friend. She lied and said that I forced her to give me $300. We had proof that she gave me the $300 for the event. This was my friend. This is somebody I trusted. I confided in. That was my road dog. We traveled together. This is somebody who was in my wedding. She lied because she saw me. She said, you're gonna be leaving soon. That's gonna cut off my leads. That's gonna cut off the new lifestyle I have because of all the accounts that you're giving me. That's about to cut off. So I'm gonna bring you down a notch. She was like, who do you think you are? But you know what? But what I learned, I gotta say this because we talk about this friend thing, because it's about to get deep in a couple of minutes. Okay, is that we have to remember that God gives us discernment. I saw that thing. Woo. I ignored it. I ignored it when she called me the N-word. I ignored it when she told me all this stuff. And we can't do that. We cannot do that. Now, I do know this, that God places you in a position, or we have to be placed in a position of vulnerability, right? So we can lean and depend on him. So I lost that job, but it was kind of the right thing. Not kind of, it was the right thing because, I got a better job and better employees and better opportunities, better benefits. But the thing is it didn't have to be that painful. If I had just listened and paid attention on the front end, that was not a true friend. Now, my sister girls, my melanated sisters, several of them, I don't deal with the people of non-melanation. They were telling me these things. I'm like, no, she's different. She's really cool. We get along really well. She's my friend. They kept saying, you better watch her. They felt it somewhere. I was like, no, she's cool.
Mm.
So watch stuff. You got to pay attention.
Those situations they're very tricky because you don't want to come off as somebody who is anti-white. You don't want to be anti, especially when we're coming from a place of love, when we're supposed to be coming from a place of love in all that we do. But it's we have to be aware at the same time. We have to basically prepare for the worst, but expect the best.
Wow, that's that hope thing, huh?
Yeah.
I love it.
Honestly, I think that even just looking beyond that, just beyond, melanated, non-melanated, whatever. It was that underlying jealousy. I mean, she was jealous of you. She was intimidated by you. I don't care if she was black, white, purple, green, or gray. She was intimidated by you. She was looking for a way to actually, bring you down. I think she would do that to someone.
Anybody.
That just speaks to her. Because for you to go so far as to, first of all, she tested you with calling you the N-word.
Right. And that was in the beginning of the 10 years.
It did.
You were good because I would have, anyways. That probably would have ended.
You would have had a Jesus turn over the table moment, huh?
Listen.
I'm just one of those who really once you offend me, I just disappear.
Back up.
Like I don't have to, make an announcement, do a big none of that. You know what you do, and we're good. I let you know, but it's gonna be we're good. But also just the fact that she went so far as to go back to your employer and lie. I mean, flat out lie. Your friends love you. When it's a friend. A friend loves.
A friend is loved. That's a true friend when they love you,
and they wouldn't do anything.
They want to see you grow.
Yeah. She hurt you in so many ways, and I know just listening to the story, that's my first thought. Man, that had to be painful because a 10-year friendship.
I still struggle with it. You hear me? I still struggle with it. And on personal levels where I should have, shoulda, woulda, coulda, we think like that, right? But it builds character. Like I said, we should be able to grow from it. It hurt. And then you get questions like this one right here that's on the screen. Can you truly, really trust a person of another race to be your true friend? I mean, that whole incident made my friend, the couple of friends I had that were telling me to watch non-melanated people. And I was going, no, you don't do that. You love everybody and you give, and I really believe she's different. It gave them, they were like, I told you, you weren't listening, but it could have been anybody, but it gave them a reason to further validate their feelings about non-melanated people. And that was my friend.
Right.
But what comes to my mind is, did you guys ever talk about race? Because I personally do have a best friend who is white. I only have a handful of people. One white girl. And we talk about race all the time. That's one thing I must say we do talk about. And it's a funny situation because we are very real and straightforward.
I love that. That's awesome.
She is a white woman, love her to death, met her in college, and she married a Mexican man. And his family is from Texas. So they got married, moved to Texas. And his family is run, by his mom. His mom has a very strong preference and presence in the family. But she is very Republican. And my best friend is very, very Democratic. Coming from New York. She's all about the equality whenever she can. She's just all around everything. And living in where she is, San Antonio, there's a lot of Mexicans in really high positions. and they would look over her for
Oh,
other Mexicans. And it's just like,
wow. Wow.
I'm sorry to tell you, but you're Black there.
Wow. Wow.
You're Black there. And she was like, yes, I am.
Funny.
You are Black.
Right.
The mirror don't lie.
Constantly. And, you know, they're mostly Republican. So her views, it came to a point where she couldn't even speak about her views because it would always turn into something. Yeah.
So how did you help her as her friend? I mean, what do you do with that type of situation?
Well, what we came to is that she had to pick and choose her battles.
That's
Like, you
right.
can't fight with your mother-in-law every time you see her.
Exactly.
Right.
You have to
Right.
love this person because your husband loves this person. So therefore, this
Mhm.
person should be important to you, and the fact that you should be walking in love at all times. So we would go
Wow.
back and forth about that, and it's just very interesting that she would go through those kinds of situations, because that doesn't happen very often when the white person is the minority in the situation. And a lot
Wow.
of people don't talk about that either.
Wow.
We don't talk about
But
that.
you know what? At least y'all have a good relationship where y'all can kind of talk about that thing. I have a really cool friend that's non-melanated that we talk. I mean, we're actually on a board together about, you know, since we're so woke about sexism and racism right now, and we talk about it pretty candidly too. I mean, but that's a good friend.
Yeah.
That's a real friend when you can talk about something that's uncomfortable and they're not going, oh, they don't really talk about you because you're Black, Denise. She goes, girl, I've seen it and I've been part of it. And I feel bad that I let people get positions, didn't get positions because they were Black. She said, I've done it as a white person. And we have these really good conversations, you know, that's a real friend,
Yeah.
you know.
It's
So,
a very comfortable situation for them too. So for her to be able to be like, yo, this and to be living it, it's like more of a connection that we can have. So we can call each other.
wow.
Listen, you won't believe what happened at work today. This
Wow.
this other person got a promotion instead of me. Like,
Wow.
just do your best, because that's what it really comes to. It comes to you doing your best no matter what situation you're in and how it's going to be perceived by somebody else. You're doing your best because you do your best.
And you're
Not-
giving her that advice. See, that's awesome. Because you could be a different type of friend, right? And be like, now, la 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 la. Then you
Right. I wanted to bring up one point since we're on the topic of having a different friend of a different race. I think there's something super dope about it. You get to also learn the different culture aspect as well.
Yeah.
So you get a like firsthand view of what's it like to be you and what is it like to be me. Like let's talk and exchange, because you won't have that conversation in a public setting, you know, but to have that white friend and a Black friend or whatever it is, I believe that gives a good opportunity for you to say, hey, let me get a little peek into your world and ask the questions that I really want to know, but would never ask. Like, they're not going to go into Hooters and say, Black folks really like chicken wings. You know, they're not going to really, you know, they're not going to really say that. But if I got my girl, homegirl, you know, Becky, Samantha, whatever, she'll say, you know, Kaylee, do y'all really do that? You know, and they say it in the most cutest, interesting way, but it just gives the opportunity to have those conversations that you know you wouldn't have, you know, out in public.
Right. That is so true.
Mhm.
That is so true. You know, Sylvia. Oh God, I said her name. That's okay. Sylvia, girl, I know you're watching. Another dear friend of mine. She is from Mexico. And you're right, Mr. Kaylee. Oh my God, that's a real friend, because we have some really interesting conversations. And like when I'm not my best or she's not her best, we don't take it personal. That's a real friend. You know what I'm saying? She actually works for me now, and she's worked on and off with me for like 7 years. And she's, even with that whole issue that I read to y'all a minute ago about, she knows that individual, and she came to me because she was really hurt. She's like, Denise, I'm not that type. I just want you to know that was really wrong what happened. I know all the details. That was really bad. And she really opened up and talked to me about it. She said, a lot of people think that I'm really close to my culture, so I don't open up to other cultures. She said, that's not true. I open up to all cultures. And she said, as far as I'm concerned, you are my sister.
That's right.
And that was a hard conversation for her to have with me. You know what I'm saying? But she did that thing.
Yeah.
So
I have a friend who actually she lives in Oklahoma, and she actually a non-melanated friend. And I think just by me coming into her life, I think I was the first Black person that she ever really got really close to. And, got to see and a peek into my world, just related back to what Kaylee was talking about. She helped me move one day. She was like, why do you have a whole beauty salon in your bathroom? You have a whole trash can full of
your hair really ain't that long.
And so she went on. Actually, she went on to adopt 3 beautiful Black children.
Oh wow!
She put up a Black Lives Matters flag on her house not recently, and was like, "My house might get burned up, but I'm put this flag up because the man down the street put up a different flag." So but anyway, so I just say all that to say, it's a beautiful thing when you can have those open and candid conversations. We had some really candid conversations about Black culture, and the kids had went through a really traumatic past with their families.
Wow.
But you understand that that's the case for a lot of us. Like, I went through that too. But this happened. That's just whoopings with belts and stuff like that. Like, that was part of our culture. And so, I didn't die. I made it. I respect my mama. She looked at me and I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am. She
spare not that rod.
I know, right? Or the extension. I never got spankings as a kid, so that was an interesting conversation that I had with one. Yeah, I'm just saying, Mama, I know you look. I turned out okay. I guess my mom said spankings ain't gonna help this chick, But I'm gonna tell you, I see your lips. I see the squiggly lip. But like seriously though, but that was a conversation that I had with my other really close friend, Angie Reese. Is that I didn't, in her mind, she thought that too, that all of us got, but no, I didn't. My mom made me write, and she made me speak, and she made me spell. And if I lied, get them encyclopedias, and I need you to find all the famous people who lied, what happened to them, or all the unpeople, But it was that.
That's so work.
She made me stand up and do what I'm doing with y'all. She made me do.
Let me go back to every child. Every child is different. So it's like one child you use the rod, another child it's like you you get time out because I know that you need that kind of attention.
You need something else.
You need something else.
I think every child though needs to experience that Heine. One good time. Because it blessed my life and I came out all right. So
you came out all right without the rod being spared. I came out all right with the the rod being spared. Okay. It was a different type of rod with my mom. So I'm just saying. But you see that question down here. It says, my experience with other races is that they never want to admit many obstacles we face as Black people.
I got something to say on that.
Come on.
How about we talk about
come on. Look, I really unfortunately have to say that to me, that is true. As an educator, I've worked in some of the most non-Black schools. We're just gonna keep it there. It's majority white, and I have been treated in certain ways. Let's just say that. But my experience was somehow still phenomenal. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. It's amazing how. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But I will have to say, I believe they won't admit it because they're gonna have to look in the mirror and see that they're connected to that.
That's right.
Even though they're not the generation that did it, they are still. If they go back into their genes, they're somehow connected to somebody that did it.
Wow.
And it's amazing how thousands of years ago, well, really, how many years ago? Slavery wasn't that long ago, ended that long ago. It really hasn't. But
70 years out, about 70 years out from civil rights.
Civil rights. So it's not that long ago. People really don't think about that. But from back in those days, I'm talking about with the ships and all of that part right there. It's amazing that happened so long ago, and they're still not willing to look in the mirror and face that aspect of saying, oh my gosh, I'm connected to that. Right. And so instead of healing and instead of having that dialogue with us Black folk, they suppress it. It's and they don't acknowledge it.
It's going to go away.
Kind of guilt.
This is exactly what we do all the time. Y'all know what we're doing, right? We shifting this conversation to what we're supposed to be talking about next week. I'm just saying, I'm about to whoopee on y'all. Okay, so like, because this right, we're talking about what we're supposed to talk about next week now. So we just roll with this thing. Let's keep it going. I mean, it is what it's going to be, right?
Yeah.
That's a good comment too, Kaylee. I mean, you just brought it home. You're right. It's not that long ago.
Not that long ago. I mean, seriously. Because I mean, we still have people that are still living that was in the civil rights movement, that was walking with Martin and all of them, like still to this day. So it's just, they don't, I really believe you just don't want to look in the mirror and admit that your lineage was a part, and you're a part of that lineage. Right. Just because you did not have your hands actually on it, somewhere down your line, you had some kinfolk.
And that's, you know what, and we have friends that are non-melanated. We have to get that conversation out, just lay it on the table and let's just move on. You know, I'm not saying we don't need to like kind of keep carrying it as a bag, you know, but you got to really, like you said, if you're going to have that friend, we got to talk about it. And we got to acknowledge the fact that you know, this is real, and what we experience, you have not experienced, so you cannot minimize what we go through. So if you're going to be my real friend, let's talk about this thing. Let's address it, and know if you're going to ride or die with me, you want to ride or die, because you're going to see some stuff if you hang with me, you know, because I got color in my skin and you don't. There's going to be some privilege and some not. That's real talk. That's something that has to be talked about in a friendship when it's different cultures, at least one time. You know, so that's that honesty part, right?
It's amazing. I would say this. I was at a hotel at a sales training. Denise, you would understand that. And we were out at the bar afterwards. You know, Meg and, you know, two other sales managers were out there. I left the bar and went to the restroom, just like many of them did. And the people came running out to find me. And I just say that to say, you should have seen my non-melanated friends come to my defense, you know, that situation. So I just say, you know, it's, I'll just get off of that, but you just made me a whole nother.
Wow. That came to your defense though, right?
To actually see what and how much it hurt me. And they were furious at the, you know, at first they didn't understand why it was such a big deal. And then when I you went to call your wife, you went outside, you did this. I went to the restroom, purse, everything. So, you know what I mean? So I just say all that to say they had to kind of see it through.
Right.
That was the first time they saw that. They actually and it was very painful.
Wow. Very cool. And let me say this real quick, because we're going to go to a question, y'all. We got to go to this question that we got here. I don't have my glasses on. That's why I'm struggling. Let me just say this too. I did mention that story earlier as we are talking about friends, right? But we want to understand that, or overstand that, it could have been a Black person that did what they did to me. It could have been anybody. Okay. But I wanted to bring that. I felt like I had gotten somewhere with, you know, my couple of other friends as it relates to people of non-melanation. She's really cool, And that thing like took me like way back, and I had to try to fix that, you know, and I can't fix that, right? But that's with anybody. So if we think about what really a true friend is and what are the characteristics of a true friend, I think that's the first question we might have. You know, that's something that we got to really talk about. I mean, like, it doesn't really matter if they're Black or white or Mexican or Indian or Asian or whatever, you know, Hispanic or Latin. It just means, what are the characteristics? What are the traits? Because the same thing that chick did to me, any other culture could have did.
Those weren't traits of friends.
All day.
Yep.
And it should hurt worse.
Your friends do not hurt you. And if they do something to hurt you, they will never do it again because they know that it hurt you. Yeah. You know, I remember one of my girlfriends, she has hair loss. And I was teasing her about it, not like straight. I was indirectly kind of teasing. And I saw how much it hurt her. And I said, I would never do that again. I mean,
that's a real friend.
Just little things. You have to, just like you said that first time she said that, no, that hurt. We're not going, no, you're not my friend. You're an associate, co-worker. You're
an acquaintance, right. And it's okay to have a whole bunch of acquaintances, by the way.
Yep.
Everybody don't have to be your friend. And what I'm learning, and you're probably learning this too, the more our light shines, the more you're going to really see who your true friends are. Right? Because if they ain't got your back, they liking everybody, and I'm finna put it out there, liking everybody else's Facebook post but yours. They supporting everybody baby shower but yours. They you know, going to the rescue of everybody but you. I mean, that's not a friend. You got to realize that. You might have grown up with Pookie and them, but the bottom line is is that they got to be trustworthy, honest. What else?
Supportive.
Who? What'd you say? Loyal.
Supportive.
Supportive. I mean,
yeah, you said it.
I mean, and listen, it ain't always gonna be 50-50 either. I might be down and out. I need you to be 100 while I'm 98 while I'm 2% for a minute.
That's it.
And I
had to check myself on that because, you know, I struggle with that one for me. No, really, I struggle with that because there was a time in my life where it was all about me, and I was like, you know, I mean, like really all about me. I mean, not like I'm in and out of it. Like I was like, you know, no, you got to give me 100% all the time, and you know, that's not real life, right?
And that's exactly, Denise, what I would say. My definition is an individual that when I'm on 50, you can be that added piece that's missing in me. When I'm low, you go high. When I am in my attitude, you can be able to say, okay, let's get it together. I thought a friend was someone that will do my nails with me. We go shopping, we do this and that. But for me right now in my life, I need someone that when I'm negative, you positive. And that's what I need. That's for me. That's what a friend is.
Right?
Exactly.
We don't take it personal when I'm trying to help you be positive.
That's right.
I mean, the sky is the same color, right? It's just how we look at it.
That's right.
How
So
we look at
friend is going to kind of steer us that way.
Right. You
got so many people take it personal when you give them feedback. You know, I used to be that person. You give me feedback, I was like, oh, hold up.
Right. Who you talking about?
You know, your friends are gonna hold you accountable, and that's one thing that I look at. You know, don't just appease me and just be like, yeah, you're right. Tell me when I'm wrong. Tell me when I left. You know, I'm out. You know what you did was wrong, sis, and I'm not gonna sit up and tell you this right. You need to come on back. Like, hey,
you know what, TP, though? What about that friend who is real all the time? Okay, you got that real friend. You know she's gonna be 100. Okay, she's gonna be real with you, and she's gonna tell you like it is. You know, how do you feel about that friend who is 100? However, it always comes off painful. It always comes off like it's intended to hurt you versus
empathy.
Help you.
That right there is literally like we're supposed to be able to do things in love so that we're receiving what we say things. And if someone's coming at you hard like that, they don't really love you because they wouldn't want to be spoken to in that way. They will play with you to make you think that that's the way they want to be spoken to. It's not. There's always a way to approach someone and communicate with them and be received. And that's the goal of the communication, right? Is to be received.
That's if you're my real friend.
Right.
Yes.
If you really love me.
Yeah.
You know, and if we really love them, because a lot of times we look at it like, you know, what can they do for me? But it's really, we got to also check ourselves of how can I be a better friend?
That's right.
You know, how am I receiving the feedback they're giving me? And if it hurt, am I telling them that crap hurt? Like, why do you do that? you know, There was another question up I got to ask real quick because we 8:35. This is getting good. You know, but we had another question up there about second chances. That one's near and dear to me real quick.
Ooh.
You know, that's real talk.
I say it depends. I think it depends.
I think it depends as well too, because you never want to sever a relationship like that. Like
Right.
we're supposed to be forgiving. We're supposed to be.
And that's understanding.
When do we put a line between second chance, genuine friend, blah blah blah, but could they be borderline toxic? And do we forgive them? Do we forgive? Yeah, of course, we all know Jesus. We're going to forgive, but a second chance to me is a second chance at having a relationship with you. And at that point, if you're just, for example, what Denise said, if someone did something that toxic to me, I have enough strength and faith to forgive you, but a second chance at a relationship is non-negotiable. It's not going to happen because that is toxic energy you putting in me. No.
Yeah, right. That's toxic. That's right. That's a plastic utensil with some iron. That ain't gonna work. Okay. Because that means if you did that to me, somebody who is close to you, okay, you know, they confided in you, they, you know, trusted you, they were there for you, they held your secrets, you know, and you could lie and let them lose their job. Now I forgive you because I have to forgive you because God forgives me about some jacked up stuff that I do. So how dare I not forgive you? Okay. You're human and there's fallibility in humans. And no relationship. We cannot go out to lunch anymore. I will not answer your calls. You know, if you're on the street, I will help you. Okay. I'm going to love you that way. I can't go relationships. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to send you a card. You know, I might even show up at the birthday. You know, we go to lunch. That's a relationship. I can't do that because I can't trust you. I mean, you stabbed me in my face. What if you, I mean, forget about my back.
Her character as a person. That's just character. And if I can't deal with your character and your vibe, I can't do it. That's why I keep saying it depends on the situation. You know, it could be, you know, I said something that offended you and didn't even know that I offended you, but our friendship ended on your end, but it didn't end on my end because I didn't even know.
That happens a lot.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. So, you know, you have to be adult. We're not in high school. We're not kids. So when you're in high school, that's one thing. But when you're adult, you know, it's like, yes, sis, you know, what you said made me mad. Let's talk about it. You know, let's deal with it, and you know, we move on or we don't. Now,
let's move on.
Nah, that spoke all the way to her character. No, that's like a friend that'll go sleep with your boo. You know.
Better yet, that I almost went, oh wow, zip it.
Listen, no, now that's some raggedy character. Someone did that.
Because one of the questions was, does revenge make it better or something? Or I saw something up there.
Yeah, she could put it up there. Yeah.
No, it you know what? At a quick moment of my human, you know, being a person with, like I said, you know, fallibility. I was, you know, I'm human. I have feelings, emotions. You know, people think as ministers we don't have emotions. We don't get upset. We don't think things. You know, we have to repent all day. Christians, we have to repent all day. You know, so yeah, there was a point in my mind where, you know, I wanted to do, you know, I had to check myself, like seriously, check my faith because I was there. And then my kids was like, oh, wait, no, we got her. We know all, whoa, no, we about to go in. I mean, all the gang members that ex-gang members, excuse me, that I mentored, they were here like in the driveway with the cars revved up. I mean, they had they were ready, like stop. No, it's not that serious because God's wrath. Listen,
that's right.
You know, look.
All of this is revenge. All of what you're doing all of what you're doing and where your life is going is all the revenge.
Yeah, you reap what you sow. What you put out there is going to come right back to you. I have tried to be petty back, but I have seen God do, and I'm being spiritual now, but I have seen God many times, y'all. Have whooped the back of some people that have done me wrong.
Don't get me started.
So at the end of the day, I may cuss you out in my head, but I'm gonna tell you one thing. I know God. God does not play about his child. Let me tell you something. God will nothing if you look. He will, and he'll get it.
I got you, Kaylee.
He'll get it. Right. God will do. He'll do that thing. And one last thing I'm gonna say. It'd be so hard to, we don't rejoice. It'd be so hard not to rejoice when you see the person that did you wrong get back what they sold into you. And so I've learned not to do that too. I cannot rejoice because God got you back, because God won't be pleased with me. But I know he'll get you. But I have to also remember, Kaylee, you do not rejoice when someone falls. Because it could have very well have been you.
It could have very well. It could be you the next time. Right?
The next time. Yep.
And you know what? Even my family member used to say to me, I used to say, God, have mercy upon her. Have mercy upon her, because have mercy upon her. And they're like, don't say have mercy. Let him get her. And I'm like, no, because by the grace of God, there goes I. You know what I'm saying? We all have temporary insanity. This gets me so excited. I'm about to lose it, but yeah, I mean, you're right, Kayla. You hit the nail on the head. We cannot rejoice.
And I just have to mention this one thing. Like, when it comes to revenge too, Minister Kaylee touched on it. Like, it perpetuates the situation. It makes it last longer.
Like it lasts longer. You're right about that, girl.
Right. Oh, wow.
And how can you? It'll pop up in your mind when you see that person too, rather than I'm going to move on from this. It's like, oh man, this person's going to get it. They're going to get it.
And we have to be empowered women, right? Be the movement we want to see. We got to be different. We can't. It's easy to, strike another match. It's easy. That takes no thought.
None.
A lot of people go low, but we have to stay high.
Come on, Shell.
Look, I tried that to a few non-believers that were in my driveway that day. I was doing the whole, Michelle Obama thing, when they go low, you go high. And they were like, when they go low, we go low, Minister Denise. So, I'm sure, we have to also let people see see us do things differently, especially as women, because we're in so many different places, right?
Yeah.
I mean, y'all, it's 8:43. We're having a good time here.
I enjoy
And
it.
this was really some good conversation, like seriously.
I agree. This was a tough subject too.
It is tough. It's tough. Yeah. It's tough. I did want to close on one note though, before we go around, is what happens when they keep doing things to you? That question just popped up. That's
They're piling coal on their head. Hot coal.
I look, use the words of I don't even know who said it, but fool me once, shame on. I don't even know how to go, but after that third time, shame. Oh, hi, sweetie. Hi.
More of my little mentees, they just keep showing up. She ain't got COVID. We good.
Okay.
It's on me, actually. Yeah. It's stuck in my hair.
You did a temperature check at the door. I'm sorry. One of y'all was talking, but I saw this little red.
When people tell you who they are, just believe them. Yeah. They keep doing things to you. That's not a friend. Like I said earlier, a friend is not going to continue to just hurt you. That's just
right. That's right. They're not going to continue to just hurt you. And you know what? Minister Kaylee said it too, TP, just like you did too. And I think Sister Amanda said it too. Even if they think these things, bad things, that they intentionally want to hurt you, and you just have to, I got to go spiritual too, Minister Kaylee. We just have to ask God, even those little things like that. You just got to say, look, God, I ain't got enough strength to do this. You said, in my weakness, you strong. I need you to work this thing out for me, Papa, because you know I'm about ready to kind of throw up a can of whoop. I need you. I can't do this. You know,
And you know, I see that
things still bad.
exactly. And I noticed that TP people that do stuff like that what's the word, constantly are doing bad things to you. That shows me that it's something about me that triggers something in you that you feel insufficient about within yourself. If you are always getting on my case, there is something about me that's triggering you. And so I've learned that when someone is doing that to me, I've learned that there's something that they are lacking, that they want, that they see in me, that they have an issue from whenever. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
That's
So but what you say?
You're right.
You're right.
So
You're 110% right.
I've seen that. I've seen it over and over. Not just with me personally, but just people in the workplace. And you could be going to the grocery store and your cashier could possibly have attitude. You were just fine with the person in front of me. Why you tripping with me? You know, just because, I don't know. You never know what someone really mentally and emotionally is dealing with. And you could really be a trigger and don't even know it.
Right.
You don't even know that you're a trigger.
You might look like somebody.
You may look like somebody. You may even a perfume. Like if you guys get into psychology, perfume reminds people. Like when I go to interviews and stuff, I don't wear perfume because it may trigger a memory for that individual. And that is true. It happens. So when it comes down to friends and people treating you negatively all the time, it's something about you, baby girl, baby boy, that is triggering their own insecurities.
Well, we have to stay focused on that thing too. You got to stay focused past that.
I want to address what Yashika, I think is how you pronounce her name, but she has wonderful questions coming in. But it just made me think of, she said, do you continue to go higher, take action? This is the thing. Like, this is how I think. I can control, the only person I can control is me, right? I can't control other people and their actions, but I can control who is around me. So you have to be brave enough and strong enough and courageous enough to say, okay, if this is, hurting more than it's helping us, not growing me, for whatever reason, you know what? It's time for me to let this relationship go. And that's, that could be a friendship, intimate relationship, whatever it is. It could be a family member. I don't care. You let it go because you can't change them, but you can change you.
That's
and you can change and how you react to what they're doing. That's all.
And also, you're taking action by approaching that person and talking about the situation. That's the action you take. Trying to come to a resolution as to what's causing this. And you go high in that. That's doing both at the same time. And God's
might be the example for them.
Yeah. And God will step in and do the rest for you. You did what you need to do. Because the second you go the other way, you're done. You're done.
And they're done too. And a lot of times they'll come back to you, right, and say, thank you for handling that way. It happens a lot. Yeah. Or they apologize to you.
Yeah.
Thank you, all of y'all, for your comments and everything and your questions. This is really, really good. I know all the comments will show one way or the other, online. Next week, we're going to be talking about sexism, racism. We're talking about being, women. We're talking about being bold, Black women, racism, in the workplace, things that we've encountered, how we've gotten through, how we push through, what we've experienced, what we've seen, what we've heard, so we welcome your comments on that thing. We really want to talk about this stuff while we are woke, right? We are woke. It's something we have to talk about so we can be unified, so we can be better, so we can kind of be more wise in how we interact with individuals of different cultures, with different beliefs. Okay, different stereotypes. We have to rise above that thing. We really do. And rise above, it's a whole bunch of different things we can talk about as it relates to rise above. Just like we're talking about this with friendships, right? Just like we're talking about it with that. And so, we got a last, let me make sure. Someone said we must respond rather than react. There is a mental virus that is more deadly than COVID. God is saying we have lost our compassion and being honorable.
Amen.
Wow.
Amen.
She said it. Ain't none,
You
she said it.
that.
She said
You
it.
said it. You said it. Thank you, Sister Michelle Massey Washington.
Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you for your view, your opinion. We really appreciate that. Another bold sister soldier. Aha. Yeah. Like it, like it, like it. Okay. So we're going to talk about more stuff next week, y'all. Please tune in. 8 o'clock. We went a little over tonight. It's all good. If you decide to drop off, that's all good. You know, it's all good. But we appreciate you guys and gals being on. Couple of things we talked about. I'm gonna go around the horn real quick. Anything you want to throw out there real quick to the viewers, to our family, real quick, Minister Kaylee?
Well, since we're talking about friends, I just wanted to encourage someone that if you are in a place where you're looking for some good friends, God will send you some friends. But He does have one requirement. If you want friends, you have to show thyself friendly. So be friendly. And God's going to give you those friends. Amen.
Yes. What you got, TP? What you got?
It just really piggybacks right on what, Minister Kaylee said. Treat people the way you want to be treated. That's what my mama always said. You treat people the way you want to be treated. You don't say things that you can't say to their face. You don't say it behind their back. And that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's good.
That's good.
I would say that, be honest, and also relationships take work, whether they are friendships, whether they're work relationships, whatever kind of intimate relationships. All relationships take work. So put in the work and communicate, and you'll have strong friendships. You'll know when to break. You'll know when to stay when you communicate.
Yeah.
Wow. Love it. And thank you. Y'all rock. And top 5 characteristics of friends is, again, loyalty, honesty, trustworthy, love. They got to love you. They got to have your back. And having your back meaning they're not talking about you behind your back. They're talking about you in your face. They support you. They're with you 100. Okay. 100. Good, bad, and ugly. They are there for you. They reach out to you. They check on you. They're not sitting at home waiting on you to call them. They call and check on you. Mm-hmm. They pray for you. You know what? They're not judging you to put you in hell for things that you've done. They're trying to help you work through things that you're going through. That's a real friend. They're not going to put you out on Jump Street. They're not going to throw you in front of the bus. They're not going to do that. And they're thinking more about you than they are about themselves a lot of times. That's a real friend. And so,
Denise, what about flexible?
Flexible.
I need a flexible friend because I'm not going to be the same Kaylee I was in 20. And you know what I'm saying? Can you be flexible with me? Because I'm not going to be the same Kaylee I was in July.
That is real talk.
Can you be flexible?
Yeah. Can you be a flexible friend? Because y'all might grow in different directions. Mm-hmm. You might be going over here to be an entrepreneur. You might be going over here to be a minister. You might be going over here to be a corporate woman. But just because I don't drink heavily anymore doesn't mean that I can't have a glass of wine with you. Doesn't mean we can't have some girlfriend conversations. Doesn't mean I can't hang out with y'all. Just because I'm an entrepreneur working all the time and you're a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean we can't still find some commonality. We need that flexibility. And a good word would be also diversity in our relationships, right?
Yes.
It's okay. We all we got. So we all we got.
That's right. That's right. That is right.
Yeah. And somebody really likes flexible. I see flexible pop up. Hold on. All right. Flexible.
And caring.
That's
what Yashika, she gave her 5 top characters.
Love it. Yeah. Supportive. I love it. Not if the wind blows, I can't support you. I mean, you should support me all the time. I mean, come on. I'm not saying support me in bad stuff. People take things you say as ministers and they'll twist that thing all up. So I'm not saying support me robbing a bank, but I'm saying, you know what? If I'm doing something that's helping the greater good, you should be my ride or die. I should be your ride or die. You know, I should be supporting you. So that's where that flexibility comes in too. You know, I love that. Supportive, unified. You know, you should be trying to get me to come out. And I gotta say this. I know when I lost my dad, you know, I still kind of do it a little bit. You know, that grief thing is a hot mess, you know, but especially because you go through all these stages. But I kind of introverted, you know, and anybody who knows me knows I'm a social butterfly. I got to be everywhere, talk to everybody, love everybody, you know, try to be the light. But I didn't want to be nothing. You know, I just wanted to be left alone.
We have to talk about. Grief is definitely something.
But where are my friends at? Like, my friends should be, let me pull you out, not just once, but on a consistent basis. But you know your real friends when they say, oh no, she out for the count. Let's leave her down there. You are right down there. You know, that's when you get an opportunity to really purge. And it's okay that friends, you go through these phases where, you know, they might be a friend for, what do they say, a reason, or what season? That's a pretty cool cliche, or a lifetime. It's okay to kind of re-sift and you know, you get to understand their character. You get to understand yours.
That's true.
And then you figure out whether you can keep it or you can move away just in a different way, you know. But I really needed people to kind of pull me up out of this house, you know, especially my couple of friends. Something to think about. I was supposed to be closing out, y'all. Okay, all right. There's okay, we got a couple of Sissy, I'll support you, but I'm still gonna tell you you're wrong for robbing the bank.
You better. Y'all gonna both be sitting in the
Oh God. Love you, friend.
Oh my God. Hey, Serene. My friend from Connecticut. I love
Oh, that's supportive. Hey.
Hey, Serene.
That's so sweet.
All
That's
right.
so sweet.
Okay, we got one more from Michelle Massey Washington. And then we really gonna hang up on this thing. So, you know, Minister Kaylee, start the car up, okay? Because I know you got something for us to go out on. Yes, we must allow our friends room to grow without being offended by them and their experience.
Come
TP,
on.
go ahead and shout, TP. Go ahead, shout one time.
Come on, shout, TP. Pick them up, put them down. Oh. Okay, we must allow our friends room to grow without being offended by them and their expansion. Let's go together. Whoa.
That's right.
We know our worth. We never have to prove it, and there is no Michelle, man, girl, boom, bam. That's what I'm talking about.
Faster than you.
Boom.
Yeah.
Wow. I've
seen it.
Okay. You know what, Minister Kayla, start the car up. What you gotta do?
Hey.
Start the car up, please. Start the car up. Start the car up.
You know, that all goes back to the point of you got stuff going on in you, and I'm your trigger, and I'm your unknown. I don't know. I'm unknowingly that I'm your trigger. And so, but also at the end of the day, I think that type of stuff, people have the insecurities and they try to dump them on you. That's not fair. That's not fair. As a friendship, that is wrong of me to dump my insecurities on you and then to act in a manner that is going to offend you. That is wrong.
That's wrong.
You have to be that friend to say, look, I'm jealous right now because my stuff didn't get off the ground. My book didn't sell. And I'm jealous and I love you, but I just gotta be honest with you. I'm jealous. Can you love me through this? Can you help me? Help me get my book off the ground. Help me.
Wow.
Come on. You know, just
conversations. Those are the hard conversations that real friends
those are hard.
They're hard.
But we have not been taught as women to do that. I just don't believe as women we haven't been taught how to do that. And that goes back. I mean, I'm sitting there. We're gonna be here another hour because my head. I'm gonna take this wig off this hat in a minute. And I'm listening.
My turban too now. I'm losing it. Kaylee, this is for you on this. Come on, man. This is for you, Minister Kaylee.
Wow. Snatch it off.
Girl. Don't snatch it.
That's a whole topic
on itself.
That's a whole nother topic. But you know what? Amanda just said something. She said it on what you just made that comment on, Minister Kaylee. And she said those are the real conversations that real friends have.
Good, Amanda.
Real,
good, Amanda.
real friends.
Real
That's
friends.
right. I mean, Minister Kayla just put it out there. She put it out there, and you're right. That and those are the conversations we have. You know what, girl? I'm feeling a little envious today. Lord help me, and I need my ace boon coon to help me too. Look, this is where I'm at. Can I ride with you on this? Right? Right? Because sometimes, Minister Kayla, you're gonna be shining the light, and your girlfriend gonna be there right with you. Y'all going in the same direction. You just happen to be shining right now. And next week it might be her shining it. And you right there locked in arms. And that's the way it should be. But we weren't taught, right?
Right.
We're talking about it today, but we weren't taught.
Right.
It's okay for somebody to rise up, but you ain't got to pass the jump. It's all right.
All right.
You don't know the hell they went through to get where they rising. You have no idea.
I want everybody around me growing. I want them all. I want everybody around me.
Come on, y'all. Let's grow.
That's right. That's right.
Dance right here. Okay, I see y'all.
Life is too short. Let's all go.
That's it. That's it. That's it,
All
TP.
right.
And if people understood that if I'm going to a new place and if I'm going higher, just because you see me going higher, that didn't mean I forgot about you. I'm gonna take you with me if you're my real friend. So I want to sit back in my seat. I'll sit back in my seat and let you win, because if you become a millionaire, guess what? I have a best friend that's a millionaire. I'm gonna be able to get on the jet too. I'm gonna be able to fly first class too. But people don't think like that. If that's your friend, you're gonna go with them.
Like, just what you do to help you.
Right. You know, I'll be your armor bearer. I'll be your volunteer, whatever you need.
Put me at the registration table, girl. What?
Like,
you know, but most of the time, like, who she thinks she is, what's she doing? There she go again. Oh my gosh. If I get a dime for every time that's happened to me, I would probably be.
It's sad. It's sad.
She got a book now. She thinks she's doing something. You know,
oh yeah, who she thinks she is? Oh, come on, y'all. We got to do better. Empowered women out there, we got to do better. Women, oh my gosh, our hands are in so many things. We got to do better. Let's help lift each other up and bring each other along. That's what we do.
Yes.
Come on. It is real. It does happen. This does happen. People do this. Yeah. It's not a fairy tale. People do help each other. They rise together. I mean, I don't know what Oprah and what's her name go through, Gail.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, Gail wouldn't be where she was if it wasn't for Oprah. Now, God made sure that happened, right? You know, but Oprah had some free will there. Now she could have said, Gail, it was cool playing with you, but I got to go. But she didn't,
because she's a friend.
She's a friend. A friend.
You know, that won't nobody ever know. Because friend.
That's it.
Friend. TP, I see them lips. Yeah. So, Minister, start the car, please. Can you take us out in the video? Because you know we'll be talking all night. People were trying to go to bed. We'll still be talking about this thing. Next week. Okay.
I know.